Good evening, folks. We're chilling here, munching, just a munching on some peanut butter filled pretzels. Get that product placement. Boom. It has been a little over a week now since I started making the first video. In the last video, I set up some cameras, some trail cameras. One in particular, I said I expected to be really hot. That was the honey hole. We're actually on the road at the edge of the honey hole field right now. I got tons of crazy good pictures there throughout this past week. We actually had one on camera there tonight, a really nice tom. Since last week, we got like some crazy high temps last week, and then we got some low temps and like 4 inches of snow, and then it got warm again and everything melted off today. Yesterday we had all that snow, and I went and moved one of my cameras that didn't really have much action, and then I came back over here and I set up my little ground blind at the honey hole so that we'd have something to kind of hide us tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's Tuesday night now, April
18th.
April 19th, right?
No, it's 18th.
Oh, 18th, that's right. It starts on the 19th this year. Yep. So April 19th is the evening. We're trying to put one to bed. I know there's one at the back of this field, the honey hole field that I explained in the last video, kind of the layout of that. There's one back in the woods off the edge of this field. We're going to sit here and wait and see if maybe we can put them to bed, hear some gobbles. We've seen tons of wildlife tonight. Got some really cool shots of some deer standing in the sunset and whatnot. It's just been a really beautiful night, so I'm already enjoying this. I've got a week straight, if needed, to go after these birds. I'm going to soak in every single minute of it, whether it's raining or shining. It could either be a really good just one hunt tomorrow or a really good week of chasing them, and even if I don't get them, it's going to be a good time. Alright, this is going to be the last update of the night. You weren't hearing any gobbles pretty much our entire time sitting here waiting for the sun to go down. And I was actually about to kind of call it quits, and then started hearing some gobbling quite a ways away. I already said we're at the honey hole right now. We just heard a gobble. After hearing those ones further away, we just heard a gobble at the gap area, which is just north of the honey hole, like couple 100 yards or so. There's this group of pine trees back in the woods where they roost a lot, and there's one in there right now. I have the best blind set up at the honey hole right now. The birds have been on camera there. We could go sit to the north of the gap further and hope that one crosses in front of us, or that we can call one in, but I feel like I gotta trust my gut here. Just go with the one where the birds have been. Anyways, it's cool to hear them. We're gonna go back now. Have some pizza, get our shit together for tomorrow. Yeah.
And go kill a bird.
Well, I'm not closing it out yet. There's one more thing we gotta get to tonight. Okay, Lauren. Last one of the night. We're concluding our night with...
Incomplete deer hunter.
If you can't hear her, then I'll tell you. The incomplete deer hunter, specifically the third one. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. We're gonna watch it tonight and then get our beauty sleep, and then get up at 3:45 in the morning and get after one of them turkey lurkeys. So yeah, we're gonna wind down. We'll catch you in the morning. You just want 4? My brain's like going half a mile an hour. I had such a bad headache when I woke up. We're back right where we were last year on this time. It's a bit colder this morning, I think, than last year's. Last year is it's probably mid-30s. It's low 30s today, high winds. It's cold. It's going to rain. We're both tired. we underslept. We've got to try to overcome this tiredness. We're a little late getting up too. I wanted to get up and get out there by like 5, and we're approaching 5 o'clock right now, which might be fine. I don't really know, but we're gonna walk probably about 3/4 of a mile down the road back to the honey hole, sneak in there. There's turkeys roosted nearby. It seems like it's gonna be a garbage morning for weather. It's definitely gonna be a little chilly, but we'll ride it out till about 9 o'clock or so. 9:30 until Lauren has to leave to go to work, and then we'll plan out the rest of the day from there. But for now, that's our plan. I guess we'll have to see you at like first light. I don't like making a whole lot of ruckus with camera light and whatnot. Flashlights going into spots during turkey season, so catch you at first light. So here's the scoop, people. We're at the honey hole. There's gobblers all around us in the spots that we heard them last night, which was kind of expected, but they're going off like crazy right now. So I've made a few yelps, some soft yelps here and there, but it really comes down to not calling to them too much and playing the hard to get game, hopefully. So I'm trying to space them out and kind of leave them on their toes for when they fly down. Maybe they'll get curious and come through here. We've had turkeys in here every single day, basically, besides the snowy day. I hope they'll make their way through here. I'd say there's an okay chance. But yeah, we'll have to see how this unfolds. As you can see, I am nowhere near an expert at turkey hunting. I had my gun in my lap the entire morning. I was ready all morning, and then decided to stretch out and kind of reposition myself, and I set my gun down to the side of me. And Lauren and I were just kind of talking, and all of a sudden, this tom just pops out at the edge of the field, right where I have said they would, right where I expected, right where we know that they do. And of course, right when he pops out, I am not ready. So Lauren gets the camera going. I'm trying to grab my gun. And as he's slipping past us, I don't know why, I tried to yelp at him to get him to stop. And I think he was already on edge, just because he didn't see any hens. So he knew something was up. And when I yelled, he just took off, so stupid move on my part. I should have just shot him while he was walking at like 25 yards, but there's really not much I can do now. Other than try to learn from it, I guess. Same happened to me last year too. Just wasn't ready. I'll be okay. That was within the first hour. Chef Lauren. Look at the lighting, it's just dog crap.
In the pan.
Hold on a second. Chef Lauren,
Yeah.
what are you cooking up?
Don't show my shopping. My dad would be really disappointed.
This is some dog crap. We got some peppers, and then we got Jimmy Dean hot pork sausage. We got some cheese. It's gotta be the spicy pork sausage. Some breakfast taters. I think I missed a crucial. Oh yeah, some butter. Oh, eggs. And that's about all you need to cook up some breakfast bowls. All right, coming back to you now with the skillets. Well, they're gonna be bowls. We got some taters and peppers.
Peppers, yeah.
Taters and peppers there.
A very flimsy
Got the eggs
spatula.
cooking up there. With our, yeah.
Dollar Tree spatula.
With our, yeah, great value spatula. And then I think, what's the last thing? Just the meat.
Sausage.
Just the spicy sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Just the spicy sausage.
Oh, shit.
Alright, last vid before Lauren has to go to work. We've got the breakfast bowl. First layer is the taters and peppers, and then the spicy pork, and then egg on top. Oh, can't forget the cheese either. I gotta put cheese on mine. Take a bite, tell us what you think. The viewers are dying to know.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 10.
Solid 7.
7. Alright. I'd also give it about a 7. This is the last clip before Lauren goes to work. I need to get my head together, figure out what I'm going to do this afternoon, if it stops raining. So, guess you'll catch up with me whenever I make a decision or a plan for what I'm going to do. Peace. So, cutting ahead about an hour and a half now, I went and sat in the funnel field under a pine tree, made some light calls out there. It's really windy, so I don't know if anything would have heard me, but I made some light calls out there, sat for probably 40 minutes or so, and had no luck, of course. It's really cold out. It's still raining here and there. Just when I got back to the cabin, my dad's uncle, Paul, who has a cabin down the road from here, must be up, and he stopped me right at the entrance to the cabin yard. And he said when he was driving down the road here about 100 yards, he saw a tom cross into this field. I was actually just about to go to this field and fix our camera that got messed up this morning. It got whatever, like the swivel thing that it's on, it got bumped, and so now it's facing the tree. So I'm going to go fix that. But apparently there's a tom that crossed into that field. We'll give it a shot, see if we can walk up on him, maybe get a shot at him. Well, that did not work. But on the bright side, I did fix the camera. I did. After going to the shoot, I came to the back field now. I'm just trying to scope out spots, see if there's any tom in an open area right now. That's my first method of attack. My second one now would be going to a spot where I feel comfortable that there's turkeys in the area, make a few calls, set out a decoy, and just kind of chill the rest of the night. That spot for me right now is going to be the honey hole. I know I messed up there this morning, but I honestly don't even care. There's been turkeys there on a majority of the nights. So it's about like 1:30, 2 o'clock right now. I'm going to start heading to the honey hole, where I'm then going to sit for probably the rest of the night. Unless I get too cold, but otherwise the rest of the night. Gosh, I just hope I see a bird. Like just to see a bird now. Well, that, to say the absolute least, was an interesting, very interesting day. I feel like I just lived through an entire season, an entire turkey season in one day. So much happened today. And that was obviously a crazy ending too. I got out there at to the honey hole at 2 o'clock. And I sat all the way until about 4:30, and I got too cold. It was freezing cold. Wind was blowing, some of the gusts were upper 20s for speed, and so I just got crazy cold, and so I decided to go for a walk at 4:30, just a little walk, kind of towards the road, go check out another field. I had already sat there for 2.5 hours, so I was like, whatever. Nothing's responding to my calls. There's nothing close by. It had been a while since I had last called too, so I didn't expect anything to be on its way to me. I'm walking out to the road, and of course there's a tom naturally crossing the road, coming into my field, straight towards where I was sitting. And guess what? You guessed right. I spooked him. And I just stood there, just pissed. Turned around and went straight back to my spot. Sat back down and just chilled. And then 6 o'clock, I had some hens come out, and they checked out my decoy a bit, and I even had them up to 15 yards away. And it was, what time was it? 7:30. And that same tom from this morning comes out of the woods, same corner, and I'm thinking, got these hens right in front of me. There's no way he doesn't want to come over here, of course, because what kind of tom wouldn't? And he hangs up. Of course, he hangs up at the edge of the field. I'm sure he probably was still on edge or something. Definitely, whatever his fear was, it was obviously my fault, but it just sucks. Twice in one day, that dude juked me. And he's a beautiful bird. As you saw, he's a beautiful bird. I would love to be able to take him one of these days. And that was just the first day. That was day one, morning and night hunt. Saw the same beautiful bird and almost got shots at him twice. I should have killed him this morning. I should have got that shot at him. Just really, really bad timing and decision making that I'm definitely going to try to learn from. But yeah, I don't know. All I know is I'm happy to be up here. Crazy first day. Can't complain. Good night.
The next day was stupid rainy, and I didn't make it out to the woods until 7 a.m. I decided to only take GoPros with me since I didn't really feel like breaking another camcorder in the rain. So I went and moved the shoot camera, called and sat for a bit in the woods, and glassed and sat over the back field for a while. Finally, at 9 in the morning, I heard a singular gobble about 500 yards to the east of me. In order to get a decent approach at this gobbler, I had to walk nearly a mile out of my way, and I eventually came down the woodline of the field that he was in from the north. After spotting him about 200 yards away, I found a nice spot where the corn pinched up against the woodline, and I set up here and went back and forth, calling to him and getting gobble after gobble back at me. He slowly made his way closer and closer, inching through the corn, gobbling every once in a while. Eventually, at what I guessed to be 70 yards distance between us, he went silent, and it wasn't for another 15 minutes that I found out exactly what he was up to.
Looks like a Tom to me. Let's go. Let's go. Did I really just do that? Oh. Let me get back to the camera with the mic. Let's freaking go. Don't you just love it when cameras die on you? This camera that I'm using right now is a GoPro. I had it, it was supposed to be a POV of me shooting while I had the other one on my gun. It died on me. This dude was coming in. I didn't have any time to change the battery as he was coming in. I didn't get the footage of myself. I think I got it on the gun camera. I've got a whole bunch of choppy footage from this morning. It's just wet. I didn't bring my good camera out here, and I just had the GoPro, so it was just like here and there taking videos. So I apologize that there's not much of a build-up in the storyline here, but basically you saw everything that I've done up until this point. Kind of through those clips that I just threw in here, but as far as this goes, I was heading back to the cabin and I heard this guy gobble down here. He was down at a spot where I have a camera called the West Side Story, and I heard him down there, so I snuck up on him down here, got to where this corn pinches up against the wood line, and he was down on the other side of the corn. So I was calling to him from here, going back and forth for like a half hour, and he would gobble and then go quiet, and then I'd try to switch up my calls a bit, and then he would gobble again, get a little bit closer. He got all the way to like 70 yards-ish, I think, just by the sound of it, and then he went quiet. And I was kind of freaking out, and I know people say just stay quiet, just stay calm and patient. But I sat there for a while after he had already gobbled fairly close, and he was not coming in. Like, I think he was hanging up or something. And I thought back to a lot of the videos that I see on YouTube. A lot of people say to start scratching leaves, once they get close. Scratching leaves like you're a hen making noise. And so that's what I started doing. And as soon as I did that, he lit up like it had to have been within 30 yards, just pow! And I'd like freaked out because I had no idea he was that close. We've got all of this like really crappy cut corn here. And I was kind of complaining about it yesterday, but it actually worked to my advantage because it acted as a barrier, as well as this brush along the wood line here from where I was sitting down here in the woods. And so when I was making these calls and he was moving in, he was trying to get around this corner here to where he could see me and figure out what hen I was or what I was. And so it had all this good cover. Truthfully, that was the greatest approach that I've ever taken when going after a tom. When he showed up at 30 yards, or when I heard him at like 30 yards, he started moving in through the corn and I could see his head popping up. So I got my gun ready, turned the camera on, saw his face pop up, and I just let him have it right there at like 20 yards, and he flopped, and the rest was history. I seriously cannot believe that happened. I know it's only the second day, but yesterday I spent like 10 hours in the woods. I was so drained. I messed up on a tom in the morning, couldn't get one to come in the evening. Just had nothing working my way. I was freezing cold. Today it was pouring rain, freezing cold again, windy, and I was just down about everything. This was totally unexpected, but I am so thankful. All it takes is that split second. I don't want to drag this on too long. I got my 4th turkey. I'm so pumped. It is Thursday morning right now, so I'm gonna go home, chill a bit, maybe do some homework, and then come back Friday, and Alex and I are gonna get after it for the weekend. Hopefully we can put one down as well. So again, sorry for how all over the place this video is, but I appreciate you watching. See you in the next one.